What's up, everyone? How you guys and gals doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome over on YouTube, on TikTok, and of course over on Spotify and iTunes and the rest of the dang freaking deals that we're on. We're all over the place, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that button for let us know when everything's coming on. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about, after actually we talk about Sturgis and this new Harley Davidson CEO. Me and China Doll actually talked about it on the Insanity podcast this morning, and we couldn't believe who they got to be their CEO. What's up, Frank Anglaire over on YouTube, man? I'll be shouting everybody out as much as I can with this, but we'll be right back. We're going to have a good one.
Break the throttle, feel the raw, bikes and freedom, we're hardcore. Insane throttle, we're the spark, ripping through the night, light up the dark. Rev it up, let the engine scream, live on YouTube, living the dream. Biker news, we're breaking the mold. Insane throttle, hearts falling cold.
Okay, like I was saying, we're going to go through a couple things and then I'll get in later on the show. The topic of this is, everybody knows this is a podcast, live, whatever you want to call it. So you can check out the little timestamps if you want to fast forward here. So let's get going on this. Let's go out to Daytona first, man. What is going on out there? There's been all kinds of accidents, and it's only what, the third or fourth day right now? I know there's been one fatality, but there's been like over 18 motorcycle crashes. We're over at Right Apart right now, and this is the 85th Sturgis Rally. And it was kind of funny, man. I think they had a guy that was like 106 there. He's been there since the first one. And he was telling all kinds of stories, man. I wish I would have got the article in time for this live, because it was just pull it out of your butt. Let's go live. Let's have fun. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. 85th Sturgis Motorcycle Rally began last Saturday, and during the first day, just the first day, there were 18 motorcycle crashes. And like I said, there was one fatality. I haven't gone through this article because everybody knows I go through it with you guys and I don't read ahead of time. Robbie Bacon asked two motorcycle riders what they think about the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Hollywood and myself never been there and never will be going either. I do not like big rallies. To me, you know what? I could use $5,000 somewhere else. I can turn that $5,000 into $10,000 just working and doing my hustle. So I'm not going to give Sturgis and all you freaking sponsors my money. Not happening like that, TikTok. Anyway, I guess if you ask two different riders, you're going to get two completely different answers. For one, it could be the place where they met the love of their life. I've heard that they got a lot of freaking, weddings up there? Which is cool, man. To each their own, man. You got people that go to Las Vegas to get hitched after being together after a one-night stand. So who am I to judge? It could represent the worst of the motorcycle culture. The worst of the motorcycle culture. Is that like a dib at clubs or something? Are you calling clubs all bad there, Robbie? You know, I think that was a dib at, somebody, that's just me. One thing is certain, however, year after year, the rally produces a worrying number of fatalities. And this is correct, man. I've been doing this over 7 years on YouTube and since 2011 with the podcast. And this Sturgis Rally has to be one of the worst. I'm just saying, it has to be some of the worst right now. Uh, and it's the 85th uh, of the most iconic motorcycle rally in the U.S. And I guess you can say that because everybody and their mother wants to go to this thing. And I understand there is a lot of cool rides up in the Black Hills and all that. See Mount Rushmore. You imagine if they put Hollywood up there, man, I'd spice it up a little bit. Everything except the wig. I never understood. Well, actually, I watched Jack Osborne, Ozzy Osbourne. They had this show where they hit the road and go to all different kinds of deals. And they went to, I believe it was Jamestown. And I guess this is a working freaking town, man. Anyway, they did that and they were wearing the wigs and stuff. I guess it was a status symbol for guys back then. You looked a little weird to me, is what I have to say. Let's see here. They're hoping that it won't be the worst year for fatalities. 12 riders were killed in road traffic accidents at Sturgis, but most riders over killed in 1 year was 15 at the 2015 event. So are you saying that 12 has been killed now? You didn't put that in there the way it should be. You're just confusing people now with that. And you're correct, over on TikTok, Sturgis is nothing more than money, and there's no damn way I'm going to spend that kind of money. Me and China Doll finally decided on what we're doing Tomahawk weekend and stuff. We're taking, I think, the most of the. I wish he would just take the whole week off so we'd go, man. Maybe live broadcast from where we're going to be and stuff. We're going to be camping. And we're going to see it. Well, what am I talking about with China Doll? She's the trooper, man. She stood in, up in Tomahawk. I'm talking, it is cold up there. I'm talking cold at nighttime. It's freaking crazy. It's lunacy. But I got to give it to her. She's like a true camper, man. She stayed in the tent. My ass ran to the freaking car and turned on the heat and said, screw this outdoor crap. I guess that's what you get when you come from Chicago, man. It goes on to say the event runs from August 1st through the 10th. 3 more days, man, so don't break that record, one of which resulted in a fatality. So, see what I mean? It went from 12 riders were killed, one. Come on, man, get better with this reporting. You can do better. I guess 18 accidents were recorded in the first 24 hours of the rally, and at least 11 Harley Davidson motorcycles. Sturgis is in Meade, South Dakota. Okay, so I guess there was like 18 accidents. You should have verified that before you wrote this stuff. I guess, let's see here, the ticket stuff is always fun. They only got the no helmet, under investigation, wearing a helmet. They probably busting you for smoking the doobie over there, man. So be careful. Those cops are all over. I put a short up where the cops were freaking towing motorcycles because they parked on a yellow line. They will do everything to bend you over to get your money. And that's one thing I don't understand with rallies. Why go there when you know that cops, all they want to do is bust you, harass you. You can't even see a good pair of boobies when you go up there because they ticket everybody. And that's what stinks about these rallies, because they have strayed away from everything that they were about in the beginning. And now everybody makes money off the bikers, even though they don't like the bikers. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Just checking in over on YouTube right now. Yeah, you can't smoke 2 day. You can't do that ganja over in South Dakota without getting busted up. Sad state of affairs, if you ask me. Sad state of affairs. Uh, I guess Holy Skunk in the campgrounds, yeah, you do whatever you want. But once you get in the Sturgis, I heard it's just terrible. Terrible. Now let's go on to this next one, man. That got me kind of upset today. See, a lot of us, and we did talk about it how this morning about how the younger kids are more into these crotch rockets and stuff. I would have to say my generation or older, Generation X and above, we always wanted Harleys. We wanted to be around Harleys. But of course, it wasn't this commercialization of the lifestyle back then. It was actually looked and frowned upon back in the day. It ain't like that anymore. Now it's cool to be a biker. I guarantee or I can actually bet a lot of them accidents that happened in Sturgis was with people that didn't know how to ride. They just went out there and bought a bike. Next thing you're on a Black Hills or something like that. You don't know what you're doing. Anyway, out of the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Harley Davidson names its new president and CEO. So they're going to be replacing who I call Al Bundy, the shoe salesman, because God knows why you would go and get a CEO from Europe, from a shoe company, to run a motorcycle company that is United States. Don't know why they did that in the first place. But now they hired a CEO from Top Golf. What are you thinking? Top Golf, really? Now, I get that you need to provide money for your investors, which, by the way, your stock's in the tank, okay? It's gone. I don't see it coming up anytime soon because you're making everything harder than it needs to be. You guys sit there and say, well, many of the people ain't coming in the motorcycles anymore. They don't got enough money, blah, blah, blah. That's because you don't know the scene at all because you're too busy hiring these guys that have no experience whatsoever in the motorcycle industry. Now, here it is. They named the new president CEO in a transition aimed at helping the motorcycle maker through difficult times. Why are you having difficult times? That's what we got to ask ourselves. And if you look at the mirror or even get your butt on the street, you'll understand why you're having a hard time. Milwaukee-based Harley named Arthur Stars. Arthur. Really? You're going to put somebody in charge of Harley Davidson that is named Arthur? You know what comes to my mind is that movie Arthur from the 80s, man. He was just a drunk elite. That's what comes to mind. Now, I guess he's CEO of Top Golf International. He's going to be replacing Al Bundy, the shoe salesman. I guess his retirement, Al Bundy, will continue. He's going to continue as a senior advisor through February. Arthur is going to begin his new position in October. So Al Bundy is going to be at the top of Harley until October, but stay on it as a consultant until February. Goes on to say, as the CEO of Dallas-based Top Golf, Harley Davidson said Arthur was responsible for establishing it as one of the world's premier sports entertainment companies. He managed a portfolio of more than 100 global recreational venues, over 30,000 employees. That doesn't impress me. I never will invest in your stock because I already know that they don't have the experience to do what you're hiring them to do. Of course, he's going to go and get all the Harley gear. And he's going to act like Mr. Harley Davidson, but he don't know nothing. Look at this dude. Look at him. Well, you can't see him on TikTok. Sorry, you can't. If you go over on the YouTube channel, Insane Throttle, you'll be able to see it. But this dude is weird. He reminds me of that one guy in Revenge of the Nerds who played Gilbert. That's who he reminds me of. Gilbert from Revenge of the Nerds. And now he's in charge of Harley Davidson. Unbelievable. And I guess under 4.5 years of leadership, they claim, the revenues grew more than 50%. Well, maybe it grew for 50% because it was a new thing. That's what happens. Harley, on the other hand, 1903. So it's a real old company. It's going to be hard to get those revenues up if you don't start giving people what they want and not these, I was talking about a $6,000 Sprint motorcycle, whatever they want to call it, cafe style. Nobody wants that. They want rockets. But nobody listens to Hollywood anyway. Then listen to this. Between 2013 and 2021, he was at Yum. Now, I guess, it has something to do with Pizza Hut. Oh, come on. This is what we get at Harley. It's time to go to Polaris and buy an Indian, is what I'm saying. God knows if this company is going to be around anymore. It goes on to say, during his time at Pizza Hut, the one thing I miss about Pizza Hut is when you actually went and dined. You actually ate there. Now, I got to say, that was pretty cool, man. But all that kind of stuff is gone. I wonder if they, because me and China Doll went up to Galena. I wonder if that Pizza Hut still has that dining. It looked big, so I guess. So they're claiming he served 18,000 locations across 110 countries. Before joining Yum, he served as the CFO for Rave Cinemas. This guy has nothing when it comes to motorcycles. Nothing. His resume, there's nothing in there. And yes, I get a little upset because a lot of us really believe in Harley, even though I'm the one in the garage, and I've already told China Doll this, the one in the garage is it. I'll never get another Harley again. That will be there until they bury me. Just because we got a lot of memories on it. But after that, what I'm going to do is get a Suzuki Boulevard again. Just saying. Here's his statement. It's a huge privilege to be joining Harley Davidson as the president and CEO. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to help Arthur, this incredible company. I have long admired the unique position of Harley. No, you don't. You're just saying that because, give me a break. Has in the hearts of its riders and fan, there is no brand that brings the same level of community and rebellious spirit. Oh my God, with the rebellion stuff with Harley Davidson. You guys stole that off of a lot of clubs and a lot of freaking scooter tramps. Before then, you looked at all of us like freaking dogs. So basically what you did was steal everything from us, made it your own, and turned it into a yuppie fest. Are you kidding me? You turned it into a yuppie fest. You wonder why, you know what, that is the best. Here's what I recommend. If you guys want a Harley, go on Facebook Marketplace. You'll get one for cheap and with little miles on it because guess what? Guess what? Why? Because they never ride the damn things. Then he goes and says he enjoys hiking, playing golf. Golf. I told China Doll one day I want to get one of them freaking furball hats and go play golf. Oh my goodness gracious. But anyway, I don't know. This don't look good for Harley at all. If you ask my humble opinion, it don't look good. Because you would think, and I say this all the time, with big corporations, I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day. It could be like a Burger King, a McDonald's, even a Walmart. Why would you hire a person that has no experience whatsoever in that specific business? Worse yet, why would you hire management that has nothing to do with that business? Now, it's a little off topic with that because of the situation I was putting it in. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense. Let's say I got $100,000. Boy, I wish I got $100,000 and I want to make an investment. Well, yeah, of course, I'm going to look at the company's financials, but I'm also going to be looking of who's running it and what's their background. I dabble a little bit in the stock market, but I can tell you just because I like the product, I'm not going to invest in you because all I see is a downward trend when it comes to Harley Davidson. And what I am seeing is an uptick in Indian sales. Now, if Polaris would get the damn dealership network like Harley Davidson does, they'd be kicking the hell out of Harley Davidson, if you ask me. But they don't got the dealer network to do so. Once you get the dealer network, you're going to start pushing out sales. And I still don't understand why they got rid of Victory. I liked Victory. You can do some cool stuff with Victory. But yeah, I would invest in something like Indian because I know it's only going to go up. But with Harley, there's no damn way I would invest in any of that stuff. Because you got a guy who runs golf, entertainment. He's going to be like the last two CEOs, Leviticich and Al Bundy, and he's going to fail because he don't know his customer base. And like I was explaining this morning, everybody says 50% Harley has of the motorcycles sales in the U.S. Well, if you would actually do your homework, they got 50% of the larger CC bike market. They do not have anything comparable to that under the 1200cc market, and that's what everybody buys. Everybody buys under 12 cc's, especially the young ones now. So that ain't like, 50% of nothing is nothing, if you ask me. Let's go into the chat rooms. And hey, Mike Ball is in the house, man. If over on TikTok you haven't gone over to Insane Wheels, go over there and check out Mike Ball. I'm just getting to know this TikTok stuff, man, so don't kill me over there, okay? It was actually recommended by Black Dragon. Holy Skunk's been, and Haji, Support Your Local 81, has been tearing up the chat room right there. Everybody else, get in there and get some chatting going, man. You guys, go nuts during the what's it called, down the Insanity Podcast. If you want to help out with some super chats, man, you guys rock and roll with that. That will really help us, especially the way YouTube is, man. I think they're getting psycho. They're like really crazy now with some of the rules that they pass. That's why I'm glad for the podcast platforms, because you can basically say what the heck you want to say. So I don't know what you guys and gals think about the new CEO of Harley. That's one thing, Skunk. Scooter tramps, man. They were something else. Those were the guys that would go, kind of like me, go for a couple weeks without changing their jeans. And by time you hand them to the old lady, next thing you know, it's like they're walking themselves. Unbelievable, man. They're just walking themselves. But let's see here. Back in 93, there was a lot of mixed differences in Sturgis. You know what? I always say 1994 was the time everything changed for everybody. And what I mean about that was the company. You remember the old dealerships, and we had one in Chicago over on North Avenue. It was a crap hole little dealership. It was called Wildfire Harley Davidson. They started out with a crap hole in a little shopping mall. You walked in there, you just smell the grease, you just smell the smoke, and everybody in there was dirtier than hell. It was a great Harley place, if you ask me. Years later, Harley made them go and build across the street. You know, this Harley's nothing but freaking Disneyland now. All these huge freaking deals. You walk into a Harley dealership now and it's like, oh, look at all these motorcycles. It's Disneyland. God forbid, though, you look like an old scooter tramp, because they won't help you. You know, they wait for all those rich boys to come in and all that good stuff. Anyway, we're going to go on a quick intermission. And we're going to be back about how streets will eat you up. And, you know, because I was thinking about this. Everybody I know is dead. Even the ones that were serving prison time are dead now. It was like, damn, I guess I got the luck of the draw, man. We're going to talk about what kind of toll that takes on a person or their person's spouse, all that good stuff. Don't forget to buy the book, man. Power and Betrayal over on Amazon. Hey, everybody, don't forget to get your copy of Power and Betrayal, baby. It's available on Amazon right now. It is the latest book, man. My story of outlaw motorcycle club life. It's part of the Betrayal series. You can also get Brotherhood and Betrayal on Amazon. Go get your copy now and support the show. Rock on.
Dust on my boots,
we go. We're back on air right now. I'm over here, shooting the shit with everybody on TikTok and stuff. They get to see the background stuff of what's going on with the show. But I do appreciate everybody joining in today. I know it was a live that was just thrown together. And, maybe it's because I was like, man, I haven't been doing a lot of lives lately. I got to get on my game again. So that's what we got. Anyway, hopefully everybody's enjoying their Thursday night. Donald Hollywood just finished the audiobook. Very good. Great job. I appreciate your support, Donald. What do you think about it? All that good stuff. Just leave a review if you can over there. That helps sell the book and stuff. But let's see here. Today, I'm going into the comments right now. I write at least 6 days a week. Only see a couple of daily writers around here. Most are part-time weekend warriors. Yeah, I know what you're talking about there. But I will not watch or listen or whatever to anything about Hollywood. I lived it and died in it. There you go. It happens, man. So just started the audiobook. Everybody like the audiobook, man? Let me know. I haven't been able to hear it yet. So let me know if it was a good one. Anyway, talking about that, maybe because before I came on air, I was actually thinking about, you know what, when you get older, especially my old ass, I'm going to be 52, man. Call it a midlife crisis or whatever you want to say. You just start thinking about everything. And especially after you write a book like I did with that Power and Betrayal, that brought out a lot of stuff in me. Where it kind of screwed me up. I was talking to Black Dragon. He's like, yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it happens, man. But my thing was kind of different because I started in gangs and was mostly a gang type of deal. But when I looked back, I had a lot of regrets, I think. I still do have a lot of regrets, and you got to work forward through them regrets. Because you can't change the past. It is what it is. And that's one thing I've been learning. But looking back on the people, and it don't even have to be a situation like this, but looking back on those that you hurt and stuff because you were in chase to get respect, whatever you want. That's why I say the streets eat you up, man. Because it comes a 24/7 type of deal when you're hustling out on the streets. Everybody's dead. And it's like, okay, was it worth it? That's the next question you're going to say. And things are a lot different now for those that are, say, in street gangs at a younger time because you got a lot harder stuff going on now than you did back then. Everything changes. I get that. But they got a lot more pressure with the internet, all that kind of stuff. But one thing I try to push off when a kid asks me or a kid's being stupid, you don't want to go that route, man. You don't want to go the prison route, any of that. Hell, I got a kid that's in prison right now. He got murder one, because he was in the gang scene, followed his old man, I guess you can say. But he's doing time right now in a max. And he ain't getting out until I'm dead, if he even gets out, because he's too busy cracking skulls in there. It's just, it's embedded in him. And when you see that kind of stuff, you're like, man, you really weren't a freaking role model, man. Let's see here. Yeah, I know, right? I still want to want them to bring the damn kickstart back. I started off on a 77 Bonneville, man. Nothing but kickstart. If I tried to kickstart that damn thing now, oh my God, I'd have a heart attack. There ain't no damn way I would sit there. I remember the Triumph, even when I was younger. Used to throw my damn leg off on that thing. I do regret that I sold it though, because it was an original one. Well, I put on apes and removed the baffles and did some jetting to the carbs. It was a badass bike, but it was, what was it, a 750? Yeah, with Mikuni carbs and all that stuff. They don't make them kind of bikes anymore. You know, and the ones that are still around are like 30,000 frickin' dollars. Try to get a nice panhead. You ain't getting it for under 30,000 freaking dollars. Plus you have a heart attack. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, yeah, and I think that, see, they got me all off track, man. When you want to talk motorcycles, yeah, let's talk motorcycles. They get you off track all the time. That's why BD always says, "Hey, man, especially to our guest on Biker Angle, don't watch the comments because they'll get you off track." And I'm not even taking our own advice. So anyway, I do think they got it a lot harder now. But you also sit there and look at how you affected your spouse, and boy, she actually China Doll has a whole chapter in Brotherhood and Betrayal that she talks about everything. And I was a dick. You know, when they say, you know, we're waiting for somebody else to knock on the door and say, "Hey, Dad," that's how bad I was. You know, I had my thing. I'd have it in a fence hole if I had to. That's how bad it was back in the day. You know, it was like, oops. You know, I remember her answering the door one time, you know, to, I think it was a cop, man, that was handing over paternity papers and stuff. And I was like, not me, not me. That's all I kept on saying, because I'm one of them guys that if you catch me doing something, well, it wasn't me, man. I don't know what you're talking about. And I pulled that with her, and it come back, "Yep, it's yours." And I'm like, damn, my pullout method ain't any damn good. That sucks. So, YouTube removes the link if you try to post it here. I think Hardwire does have a channel of his own. If you guys can go over there, support his stuff. I'm in, back in the day, you could tell who was who by the limp. The limp. Yeah. You can really tell who was who back then by just the way they carried themselves and what their word was like. Like now, you can't trust any damn buddy. And back then, when you were running a hustle, you can't trust anybody either. You can't. That's why I say when I cover the biker news, what are you doing dirt with fellow club members? That is the stupidest thing that you could ever do. If you look at it, you can't trust anybody, number one. So what is going to make, what, you're going to trust somebody because they wear the same patch as you? Are you stupid? And you're going to go out there and run a hustle? Dude's going to freaking, because you know how you're going to handle yourself. But I guarantee you don't know exactly what's going to happen with dude. That's why I think on the Biker Angle last Sunday, we were talking about, you know, what constitutes this or constitutes that. And for those that are on the street that run the hustles, it only takes a little bit for the suspicion to rise. You know, if you have a guy putting this other club member at the scene of the crime, yeah, you're talking. Something as little as that, and next thing you know, something bigger pops. That's exactly how it is. Yeah, China Doll's in there. I have the worst pullout method. The worst. It's like, I was laughing at something last night. Make sure you tell me when you're gonna. Sorry, I already went. That's the way I am. You know, I'm not there to play high school games. I'm out there to get it off and go. Blow and go, I used to say, man. I still got stickers from that stuff. But yeah, I have the worst one. But it does when you put your whole life on that track, you look back and say to yourself, man, what the hell was I doing? You know, you caused your old lady all kinds of freaking headaches. And you have to say, man, that's truly a ride or die right there. Because there's a million times she should have walked out on my ass. A million times. But I still got the old hag with me, so that's pretty cool. But at the same time, when you get older, it does kind of stink. Uh, don't know how many kids I have, or dads or moms. Trust me, man. I hope there's never a knock on that door. And you know what really freaking freaked me out? And I didn't think about it until I sent it in. It was that ancestry DNA crap. And I ended up sending it in, and then China Doll took it, and some other people took it because they were adopted. They didn't know they found out who the hell their father was, so that could happen to Hollywood. I just thought about that crap. That could happen to me. Oh, hi, Dad. What you talking about? I ain't your dad. I wasn't there. Well, your DNA, I wasn't there. That's exactly what I'd say again. I don't know what you're talking about. And then they come after me with that swab again. I'd be like, nope, I'm running. I'm out of here, man. I paid enough freaking child support in my time. See you later, Haji. Oh, yeah, you're my Canadian, man. Who's your daddy, right, man? That's what they're gonna say is who's your daddy. Guess you missed the limp thing. It was about the kicker used to work at Morris Magneto's, was a joke at the shop. Yeah, it was like busting your freaking kneecap, man, when that thing recoiled. Are you crazy? You know what? I never have another one. Never. I actually was thinking about before I sold that thing about freaking retooling it for electric start. That's how bad I hate it. And I was what, 20 years old, 21 years old when I had that damn bike. And I even hated it back then. But I loved the damn thing. I wish I never frickin' sold it. I'm lying to you. I'll go into the comments section. We got a lot of people over there on TikTok checking us out. We really appreciate that. I have no idea what a lot of this stuff is. So, be patient with me and I'll get to learn it as we go because I'm going to do a lot of TikTok lives when I go live with my crew over on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But for those that have been around, let me know what you think. Do you get a lot of freaking regret? Do you say to yourself, you know what, man, that was freaking stupid. Now that your age, it's always funny when you get older, how the nightmares from the past start beginning. I guess it's called karma. Bam Bam, what up, man? How you guys doing out there? Nice to see ya again, man. It's fun doing these again. What links are you guys looking to do? I don't know why you guys can't put links in there. Like I said, freaking, what's it called? YouTube, go figure. Are you guys getting commercials during my live streams? Because I've been hearing a lot of people saying they're getting freaking commercials during my live stream. Just let me know because I don't know about that stuff. And if they're getting ads out there, they better be paying me for freaking doing it. Only mods can put links. I don't know what the links everybody's talking about. Anyway, well, that is the show pretty much today. I really appreciate you guys and gals coming out and listen to me blabber for a while. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, all that kind of stuff. Holy Skunk wanted my email. Why can't you put your email in there? All the names, all the people, if it's because freaking for me to navigate. I don't know, man. I don't know why you can't put that out there. Anyway, guys, we'll talk to you later. Don't forget 8 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday, over on the Insanity Podcast by Insane Throttle, man. Go over and check it out. Rock on, baby. Rev up, riders. Welcome to the Insanity Podcast by Insane Throttle, the no-holds-barred show for bikers by bikers. We're your hosts, Hollywood and Chinatown. Get in the road with real talk on motorcycles, relationships, politics, and more. From chrome to chaos, we cover the wild stuff that fuels our ride. So grab your helmet, crank it up, and join the Insanity Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tune in on YouTube. The podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and more.
Home where the wind runs free, my bike's waiting there, calling to me. Harley Davidson till the bitter end, the highway hums beneath my boots. A fleeting dream or a knockout.
Welcome to 1990 Chicago, where trust is a trap and betrayal runs deep. The Betrayal Chronicles real-life book series by James Hollywood Machikari drags you into the middle of the biker underworld like never before. In Power and Betrayal, a kingpin rises and falls in a storm of drugs and deceit. Then Brotherhood and Betrayal throws you into a fight for loyalty where every choice bleeds. Get the Betrayal Chronicles series now with grit, guilt, and redemption on every page. Available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Also available is autographed copies by James Hollywood Machikari on www.insanethrottlebikernews.com.